All right, friends, now that we have our bags packed for the zoo and we have arrived at the zoo, the important thing to do is, now that we have our maps, is to look very closely, because usually towards the front of the zoo, you're going to see a sign that might show rules about the zoo. It's important to follow those rules because they keep us safe. And if we don't follow them, there's a chance we could get kicked out of the zoo. And if you get kicked out, can you see the animals? No. So we don't want that to happen. A zoo sign might look something like this, with numbers on the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or however many rules there are. And they might read what those rules are. You might have something like this, that maybe your teacher has a set of rules for your class if you go with your class before you leave. Or you might see signs that have pictures on them. So let's look at some of those. Here's one you might see at the zoo. It says, please don't litter. Do not put your trash on the ground. You put them in the trash can or in the recycle bin. Because if you put them on the ground, all those animals could try to eat those and it might make them very, very sick. And we don't want that to happen. And it'll make their zoo messy, and we don't want that. Here's another one. Don't pick the plants or flowers. Some of those plants and flowers are there for the animals to eat, because some of them eat plants and flowers. Also, some of those plants and flowers might be special, and there may not be a lot of them, meaning they might be like an endangered species, which means like there aren't that many of them left. So if you're picking them, then you're making less and less of them on the planet. We don't want that. Some of them also might be, did I say poisonous? Yeah, they could be poisonous. Okay, so we just got to be careful. Don't pick the plants or the flowers. All right, sometimes, especially in front of certain exhibits like monkeys and stuff like that, they'll say, do not be loud. Or they might say, shh, be quiet in here. Sometimes it's because there's babies in there. And I will tell you, mamas get really protective over their babies. So if you go in there and you're really loud, they're going to think maybe you're a threat, meaning you're there to harm their babies. So they might get really aggressive or angry, and they might come up to that glass or that fence and they might try to shake the glass, or they might try to stick their hands through the fence because they're worried that you're trying to hurt their babies. So sometimes you just have to be quiet in certain places. So look for signs like that. Here's another one. Do not tap on the glass. You tap on the glass and you try to get those animals all too excited or too worked up, they could get really aggressive. Not all animals are going to get that way, but some might. So you want to be careful. They may not be able to get through the fence or through the glass, but we don't want to try to provoke them. It stresses them out. It makes them really, really, really upset. And we don't want the animals to be upset. So do not tap on the glass. Do not try to bother the animals. You can say, oh, what a cute animal. And you can wave at them, and you can put your finger and go across and see if the fish will follow your finger, stuff like that. But don't tap on the glass and don't get them really, really crazy excited. Also, don't put your hands or fingers or body parts through that fence. You might get it chomped off or pulled on or something like that. Depending on what the animal is, they have signs like this that say, do not put your hands in. That might look like that. It might look like this with a hand, and it looks like a fence, and it says, no, don't do it. Remember that X out, the red circle with the line through it, means don't do it. This one is more like a finger, and it says, do not poke your finger through. Okay? That's the same. It means the same thing, but the sign looks a little different. So look for signs that show hands or fingers and it's crossed out. That means don't put your hands or fingers or feet or body parts in an area that you're not supposed to. Remember, yellow means danger and red means danger. Danger, warning. This says wah, wah, warning at the top. And it says do not climb the fence. And the last one, do not feed the animals. I repeat, do not feed the animals unless you're in an area where they say you can and they give you specific food to feed the animals with. Have a great day.